how can I improve communication with my husband and stay connected when we strongly disagree on important issues like things of like the conspiracy theory sort that can greatly affect our future financially? So a little bit of background. First of all, I want to say that I love my husband. He's an amazing husband and he's an amazing father to our 2 sons. And I know that this is kind of like a controversial, crazy topic. So I want to say that first. We've been married for 8 years and he's always kind of like dabbled in like some random conspiracy theories. Like, I mean, so have I, who hasn't kind of went down rabbit holes, but essentially just in the last like couple of years, he's gotten really strong opinions about like how he thinks that basically the banking system is going to fail. And so recently we've been on baby step 2. We've been really kind of pushing the Dave Ramsey baby steps. And when we were talking about 4, 5, and 6, I brought up how we'll have to start doing, like 15% into the IRA. And he was all of a sudden was like, well, I'm not comfortable putting any money into the banking system because when it fails, we'll lose all of that, which that kind of just broke down into a really big argument that I didn't handle neither one of us handled it very well. And it was a really bad blow up that we don't typically have. And I made the mistake and brought up the word divorce, which I told him I would never do because I guess I don't know how to set healthy boundaries in a marriage or how to communicate effectively. I don't know. And he was really, really hurt by that. He told me, and he felt like I was basically just giving up on our marriage, and I definitely don't want to divorce him. So I'm just trying to figure out how can I communicate effectively to him so that he feels heard, I feel heard, and neither one of us feels crazy.
Well, one of you may be crazy. That's the problem. It sounds like he scared you.
Yeah, I did. I told him that I felt financially unsafe.
There you go.
Yeah, and he felt, he heard me, but he also kind of came back with, well, that feels like you don't trust me. Like I've done all this research and,
what research?
I want you.
YouTube?
Yeah, like Telegram channels, YouTube channels, things like that, where he really claims that, there's these things that he truly trusts and feels that very strongly with. And he's tried to show me them before, and I sometimes will point out some inconsistencies, but then he kind of rolls his eyes.
Like
and
math?
Like, oh, yeah, and I've even pointed to like Dave Ramsey is even, the podcasts and things like, hey, like they talk about stuff like this and, this isn't going to fail. And I even kind of told him, like, even if it did, money's not going to be something that we're going to be worried about. We're going to be worried about like food, water, shelter, like people coming to our house. Like we're going to have bigger problems. So.
Right. Go back to the very beginning. The question you read, your very first question, your very first sentence, reread it to me.
How can I improve communication with my husband and stay connected?
Keep going.
When we strongly disagree on important issues that can greatly affect our future financially.
Okay. That's the crux here. And you need to know you're not communicating with somebody who is dabbling in facts. You're dealing with somebody who is scared to death. Okay?
Right.
Conspiracy theories are super fun. I love dabbling in them. Like you said, they're a game. It's kind of like gambling, right? When you're watching a football game with your buddies, you're like, I got $5 on this game, whatever. That's fun.
Right.
When somebody is mortgaging their future on gambling apps, it's catastrophic. Right?
Right.
And we're in a world now where, here's the truth. Some conspiracy theories are true.
Right.
They've just proven to be true. And most of the time, conspiracy theories, especially when people say the words, I've done my own research. Few sentences just irk me more than that sentence. I've done my own research, which is almost always, I Googled a bunch of stuff, I ChatGPT'd it, or I watch a lot of YouTube channels, secret YouTube channels that nobody knows about.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Rarely do people, quote unquote, do their own research, meaning they go to a lab or they sit down with economic theorists. The economic professors are the problem. Do they sit down with monetary policy people? Do they understand how global trade works? Right? All this stuff.
Right.
So basically what they've done is they have used the internet to give them things that help them make sense of feeling out of control and anxious in a very chaotic world.
Right. And I would agree with that. I mean, and I would also say, I mean, we did have a conversation after the big blow up. Unfortunately, it seems to take big blow ups for him to kind of come to see things on my side a little bit, which I'm not proud of that either, because I know that I have a hand in that too. But, he was able to chat with me and he was like, listen, if it makes you feel safe, we can do that. He goes, however, can we also still, stash some money to the side cash wise? Which I'm like, okay, great, that's a compromise. But then I'm also worried, what's the next thing going to be?
Well, and that's where I want to get to the bottom of this, because this is not isolated to finances.
Right.
And I guarantee you this is not isolated to the banking system imploding or whatever. And by the way, it might, probably not. And if it does, like you said it best, if you have a bunch of solar panels and a good water well, a whole herd of angry people are going to come to your house and shoot you for it. What was the thing before the money? This is an ad for BetterHelp. I talk to hurting people for a living, and yes, I can help out folks in tiny chunks of time here on the internets, but often more help is needed. That's why I recommend people go to therapy. And if you're thinking about therapy, try BetterHelp. It's 100% online, so it's affordable and convenient. They've got over 30,000 therapists, and they're great at finding just the right one for you. Visit betterhelp.com/Delony for 10% off your first month. What was the thing before the money?
A big thing before the money?
Mm-hmm.
It was another financial situation where he got into a business idea with a friend from church, and that guy ended up being a scam artist. And
what was the thing before that?
The thing before that?
Here's what I'm getting at. The thing where he has the secret insider information that nobody else seems to be able to see. It could be the woman you said, hey, don't go around her. No, it's cool, man. It could be the buddy or the buddies that you were like, hey, I don't get a good feeling around them. And he's like, no, you don't understand. It can be the business idea, followed by another business idea. It could be the essential oils that are going to cure cancer.
Right.
It's almost always a line of things, and then the internet catches you, and then it connects you to bigger and bigger things.
I mean, that was starting in 2018. He was looking at stuff on the internet and kind of loosely following it.
Right. And
can
I tell you?
He kind of came on his own, though, I think. I don't think there was anybody directly influencing him.
Okay. Well, and I did the same thing. I hook, line, and sinker, starting back in 2012. Anything the internet said, anything a podcaster said, I was all in on.
Right.
I've got drawers of gadgets. I've got years of having to undo things because whatever. One day I'll just do a whole show of the stupid things I've done over the last decade, trying to be extra healthy or do the, like get financially, whatever, right? I'm a poster child for it. This is why I have such disdain for the ecosystem that traps minds in it, especially minds that are scared, especially minds that want to take care of their families, and everyone around them is like, better get on your board and start paddling because the water's coming, right?
Yeah.
For a guy who loves his family, the air we breathe is fraught with your family's going to die and it's going to be your fault because you didn't listen to my 7-step plan or my whatever or my fill in the blank.
Well, and then he also does talk a lot about like the expectations of men. He's like, we're just expected to sit down and shut up, and nobody cares about our feelings or how we
That's very
think
true.
about things.
And then men get in these chat rooms and they get in these channels and they create these ecosystems where they just listen to other anxious, fried, unlistened to men. And here's what's really going on out there. And it creates really dangerous situations for families.
Right.
Right. So the truth of the matter is this. He's not on the phone. I want you to hear me say, I love this guy and I'm heartbroken for him, and I've been there. And the path forward is, as you've identified, coming up with weekly, if not daily, actually daily check-ins. And they don't have to be loud. They don't have to be what do you call it? Sensational. I'm talking daily check-ins, a 30-second hug when you wake up and a 30-second hug when he gets home from work. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about going for a walk in the evenings together and not talking about anything politics.
Okay.
You giving space for, hey, you get 5 minutes on your latest conspiracy theory. I want to hear it. Let it rip. And then after 5 minutes, it's over. Really? Yep, go. And then we're there. And then a weekly check-in on how are we doing with our budget? Are we paying off our debts? Because that's one of our goals.
Well, the really cool thing is I basically do all of that because he doesn't really like having to.
Okay, listen, that's not cool. That's not cool. Here's what's happening in your house, and I know this because it happened in mine. I remember the conversation in the backyard of a house I couldn't afford under multiple six figures worth of debt when I told my wife around a fire pit, I feel like you are creating a life for you and our child that I don't exist in. And she said, I have to. You are slowly creating a world by yourself so that you can feel safe. You're creating a bubble inside your family for you and your kids. And your husband feels that disconnection. And I'm not faulting you. You have to, because you have an unstable husband right now.
Mm.
But that isn't the solution. The solution is to both of you wade through that electricity and decide together we're going to co-create something together because we're not okay.
Right.
And in my house, I fully fund my retirement accounts. And I do have 3 deep freezers. I do. And my wife says, with your fund money, John, you buy whatever you want to. I'm like, okay, if it all could. And I have a little bit of that tendency in me. But for the sake of my house and for the sake of looking at data, which says it might go wrong, but it probably won't, I'm still putting money away for retirement. And if it's gone, I'll deal with that then. I'll have bigger fish to fry.
Right.
The challenge I think y'all are going to face here is this is not about conspiracy theories. It's about disconnection between you and him. Here's the deal. You're going to have to take this risk and say, I miss you. And I haven't been communicating well. And I love you. And I think you're a good man. And also, here's the things I need to feel safe inside my own house. I need us to not owe anybody any money. Which, by the way, if it all comes down, that's probably going to be one of your best hedges, is to not owe anybody anything. The next thing is, I want to put money in retirement. The next thing is, I miss you. How can I love you today? Here's how you can love me today. The next thing is, let's put in a budget line after we get all our debts paid off and we get our own emergency funds. We don't have to rely on the banks. If you want to buy a deep freezer and some solar panels, knock your lights out. That can be a fun hobby. If you want to put some cash in a high yield savings account and just put on the side, okay. That's your sleep tax. That's your sleep well at night, even though it's not earning what it could be, etc. But I hate what these things are doing to people. I hate the ecosystem that allows this stuff to be out there. I hate the fact that there's just unfettered, there's no accountability, all of that. in the media ecosystem we have, but it is what it is. We have to be honest with each other, saying, I miss you. I'm disconnected from you. And if I know there's couples out there where one spouse is so down a rabbit hole, they're like, I will not put any money in retirement because fill in the blank, then you are in an economically unsafe environment. And you have to deal with that truth and that reality. And you, Alex, man, the next time you feel like you're about to throw the divorce word around, the next time you're about to explode, that's when you can take the lead and say, I'm going to stop this conversation. It's getting too heated. Let's exhale. Let's circle back in 30 minutes. I'm taking a break. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Let's pause right now. Let's go to bed. Let's pick this back up tomorrow because both of us are getting on the edge. When I say something dumb, you get upset and we're just starting a whirlwind, and let's just pause. You get to pick that too. And I don't know another way forward other than just to get off media completely and begin doing old school stuff like asking your neighbor, asking true experts, but those are even tough to come by. So hope that helps, Alex. I'll just say this, your marriage is more important than any of the nonsense out there. And usually where couples find themselves where y'all are, it's two people who are feeling very unsafe in their marriage. Start there.